What up, everyone? Welcome to this week's live training. Come on in. Today, we're going to be going over step by step, okay, how to close your first deal from start to finish. Okay, I'm going to lay out the entire process from the very beginning all the way to the very end. Okay, so if you're looking for a full breakdown of how to do a deal step by step, right, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today in today's live training. Okay, so make sure you take notes on this. We're going to be going over this in pretty good detail of exactly how to close a deal, start to finish, right? I'm first going to show you very basics, how to set up your business and walk you through the steps, the process of what to do all the way to getting it closed and getting you paid, okay? So I know that sometimes it can be confusing of just trying to figure out what steps to take and like in what order and like how to do it and all that type of stuff. So if you're just starting off and you haven't closed a deal yet and you're still a little confused about the process, make sure you're tuning in today and make sure that you are watching this from beginning to end, okay? It's going to be very helpful for you. Now, if you're in here, let me know, put in the chat where you're from, what market you're in, and let me know what's going on, what you need help with, right? So at the end of this, if we do have a little bit of time, I will do some Q&A for you as well, okay? All right, so let's jump into it. Let's not waste any more time. Now, let's start with the very beginning here, okay, guys? Now, what are you going to do to get started this business, right? What do you need? Now, I know there's like a lot of different programs and softwares and all kinds of different stuff out there, and you usually get like confused because everyone's telling you all this different stuff that you actually need to start your business, when in reality, you really don't. Okay, I'm going to show you 3 things that I recommend that you have that are low cost, and that's really all you're going to need to get started, okay? So the first thing you're going to need is, just a basic phone, right? Now, obviously, we don't want to be using like our cell phone or anything like that that has our personal phone number on it. That's just not really efficient. It's not safe. So I like to get an alternative phone number. So that's one thing you're going to want to get. Now, I use dialpad.com, okay? Dialpad. That works really good in my business. All my employees, everyone on my team uses that. And it's a web-based phone. And you can get it for like $30 a month, okay? So it's super cheap. And if you want to do something else, you can always get like a Google phone number as well. I think that's free. But I like Dialpad. Okay. Next thing you're going to need is just a basic CRM system. Now for this, if you're just starting, you haven't done a deal yet, you don't need to invest in a big complex CRM. Just use like a Google spreadsheet or Excel sheet or something like that, just to keep track of your leads and when you need to follow up with them. That's it. Okay. Super simple. I'll keep this basic for you guys today. Right? There's no need to get it overcomplicated. The problem is in this industry, you get so much information, you get confused. So I'm going to simplify it for you. Third thing that you're going to want, if you're going to get one piece of software, you're going to want to get Estes data. Okay. Now, this is really important because in here, you're going to be able to take and comp properties, figure out what you can offer on them. You can find all the owner's information. You can pull your motivated sellers list. And you can pull all your cash buyers. So you can do a lot of stuff inside this one program. So it's kind of an all-in-one. So Estes data right down here at the bottom of the screen. Go right there and get a 7-day free trial. Okay. So make sure you do that. Okay. So now you have your business set up. You have those 3 things. We got to get down to business, right? So you have Estes data, you have a phone, you have basically just like a CRM, which is just like a spreadsheet. Or something like an Excel sheet just to keep track of your leads, okay? Now, step number 2, what you're going to need in this business is you got to have to talk to motivated sellers, right? This whole business is about and based on lead generation. The more leads that you can get, the more money that you will make. If you don't get any leads, you're not going to make any money. The more leads you get, most likely the more money you're going to make. So it's a direct correlation between how many leads you get and how much money you make. Okay, super simple. Someone who gets 100 leads and someone who gets 1,000 leads, the 1,000 person leads is probably going to make 10 times as much money as the person who gets 100. So it's a direct correlation. So remember that if you're not generating leads on a consistent basis and you're getting multiple leads a day, you're not going to succeed in this business. You have to be getting a consistent flow of motivator seller leads. So how do we do this? Well, there's a few different ways, and there's a bunch of ways, right? There's all kinds of different marketing techniques you can use. Now, one way is just to pull how most people start is just to pull motivated sellers online. Okay. So this means like going to Estes data and pulling people who are like foreclosure or pre-foreclosure or vacant houses, on any of that type of stuff, right? You go to Estes data and you get that list. Now you could also put up bandit signs, or you can do like Facebook ads or PPC. There's a lot of different ways to generate motivator seller leads. But most people start with just by pulling a list, right? It's very, very simple. So let's just use for this example, you're going to take and pull vacant houses. So you pick a city, a county, pull a vacant house. Next thing you have to do once you have all the lists of the vacant houses is you need to get everybody's phone number, okay? So for that, you just use a skip trace service, okay? Now you have then from there, you'll have everyone on that list of the vacant house. Now what it's going to do is give you another spreadsheet with everybody's phone number on it, okay? Then from here, you need to reach out and you got to contact those people and see if they might be interested in selling their property. Now for this, the two easiest ways are just to call them up, cold call them, or send them a text message, right? Pretty basic, you're right. The same way you would contact any of your friends or family member. You're going to call them or text them most likely. All right, so that's how we're going to do this as well. Now, then from there, step 3 is you got to get them on the phone. So now that your business is set up, and you're generating, some lists and people to talk to, right? Potential motivated people. Now you need to talk to these people and getting an offer out of them and find out if they might be willing to sell their property at a discount for less than it's worth, right? So from here, you just get them on the phone and you go through a basic phone script, okay? You go through a basic phone script and you're trying to pull out some pain points and find out if they're motivated to sell. Then from here, it's very, very simple. All we're doing is we're looking on Estes data. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how we do this, okay? You just go on estesdata.com, which is right down here at the bottom. And from there, there's a cash buyer tab, okay? So if you put in your property address and you hit cash buyers, you can see what all the cash buyers in the area are, what they're paying for similar properties. So if you have 1,000 square foot house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, in like decent condition, and you see other 3,000 square foot houses in the area selling to investors that are in decent condition for $100,000, then within pretty good certainty that an investor will pay probably $100,000 for your property as well, because it's very similar. So what does that mean? That means you need to get it for under $100,000. Okay, very simple. So if you get it for 90 and you see other investors paying 100 for similar properties, you probably get 100 for yours and you make the $10,000 difference. So that's it. So you start calling down this list of people and you start having these conversations, and anyone who agrees to sell their property below what you're seeing investors pay for similar properties, it's a deal. Next step is you want to send them a contract, okay? And I just do this right through DocuSign. Email them to it. Email them the contract. So you just upload the contract into the program, DocuSign.com, and then email it to them, and then they can just electronically sign it. They can type in their name and sign the document, and it becomes a legal binding contract. Very, very simple, okay? From here, now we're going on to step 5. So at this point, we have the business set up. We've already generated leads. We started talking to people. Step 4, we sent the contract. Now, next step after we have a contract in hand, right? Once we have this property under contract, we have control of this property, right? We have a legal binding contract. We have control over this property. And now what we can do is we can sell this contract to somebody else, okay? So after we get under contract, what we want to do is we want to go out and get pictures of the property, right? We need pictures of the property to be able to sell it to somebody else. And we also want to put a lockbox on that property so your buyers can get access to the property, get access inside to take a look at it, okay? So if you're doing this virtual, all I do is I look on Craigslist. You find someone local under like gigs give someone $50 to go out there with a cell phone, take pictures of the property and put it on a lockbox. Very simple, okay? You don't have to be there. Everything I'm showing you here today is 100% virtual. You never have to see the property. You never have to meet the seller. You don't have to do any of that, okay? So here you got a contract. Now you send someone out, you get pictures, you got a lockbox on the property. Now what you have is now you have a tangible contract and you have pictures, so you can take and you can send this out to buyers and try to sell this property, okay? So what do we do? Now we're going to go back to Estes data, okay? Step 6. Now we're going to do, remember those same cash buyers that we figured out in the area of who are buying properties? Now all we're going to do is we're going to get in contact all those people, okay? All those people under Estes data that are buying houses for cash in the area, those are our buyers. So all you have to do at this point is get their phone number, do the same process as before. You skip trace each person, get their phone number, then you can either call them or text them, okay? And you simply reach out to them and let them know, hey, listen, I got this great off-market deal. I see that you're buying similar properties in the area. I'm selling this at a discount. Is this something you may be interested in? Right? And you send this to everybody who's who's bought a house for cash in that city, in that county. Okay? So you're sending it to every single person. Then the phone calls and the text messages will start coming back in, right? Now what you can do is you can send people to the property and they can start looking at it. Okay? This brings us on to the next step. Step number 7. Now we start negotiating with these buyers and we pick the best buyer for the property. The person who's willing to give us the most for it, above what we have it under contract for us, and we are probably our best buyer. So once you find the highest bidder, at this point, we send them the assignment contract via DocuSign as well. So same way you sent the one to the seller, now you're going to take the assignment contract and send this to the buyer and have them sign that, okay? This moves on to step number 8. Hopefully you guys are taking this down. I'm going through it pretty quick here. Step 8, now you have 2 signed contracts. You have one with your seller and you have one with your buyer. Now what you want to do is take these 2 contracts and you want to send it to your investor-friendly title company. Okay? Very simple. So make sure they're investor-friendly though. So when I say investor-friendly title company, these are going to be companies that are used to working with investors and wholesalers, and they're very comfortable with assignment contracts, okay? So make sure you interview them and make sure they're investor friendly. If they are, send them both contracts. Then from that step at number 8, step number 9 is really from here, the title company takes over. They do everything else for you at this point, okay? Now what they're going to do is they're going to communicate with both the seller and the buyer. They're going to pay off any mortgage or liens or anything the seller may have. They're going to handle all the closing, okay? And they're going to bring it all the way to closing day, okay? That brings us to step number 10. Closing day is the day that you get paid, okay? Last step, the seller sells the property. The buyer buys the property. The title company handles all of that. And then what they're going to do is send you a check or wire you the difference between the two. So if you got it under contract for 90 and you sold it for 100, you make $10,000. You make the difference between the 2 contracts. And what they do is they just wire you that money. Very simple. Seller sells it, buyer buys it, and you make the difference. And all you're doing through this entire process was essentially you're a matchmaker. That's it. You're finding someone who wants to sell at a discount. You're finding an investor who's willing to pay for that property a little bit more than what you have under contract for. You're matching those 2 up, and you're making the difference between the 2. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. It's a very, very simple process. But let me go through it one more time. Let me just give you a recap, okay? Give you a recap of how this works. 1, set up your business. Basic phone system, CRM, right? Estes data. Step 2, it all comes down to lead generation. Okay, you got to start generating leads and talking to motivated sellers. And you can do this a bunch of different ways. There's all kinds of ways to produce motivated sellers, okay? Pull the list, skip trace it, either call them or text them. From there, you get them on the phone and you try to negotiate a price below what investors are paying for similar properties. Step number 4, you send them a contract. You get it under contract, right? You get that property signed. You get the contract signed on the property. Step 5, you go out and you hire someone to take pictures of the property and you put a lockbox on it. Number 6, you go back to Estes data and you pull all the cash buyers in the area, okay? And you contact all the people who are buying properties for cash. Number 7, you negotiate with the buyers now and you get the highest bid on the property, okay? And then you send them the assignment contract. You send the buyer the assignment contract. Step number 8, you send both contracts to the title company. Step number 9, the title company handles all the paperwork. They pay off any mortgages, any liens, and they facilitate the closing. Step number 10 is closing day. Seller sells the property, buyer buys the property, and you make the difference between the two. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense, guys. That's the entire 10-step process from beginning to end. There's no need to complicate it. You don't need expensive softwares and systems and all kinds of other things. Okay? The process is simple, but I know that even though that it's a 10-step process, can be broken down into simple terms. Actually executing on that, I know it can be difficult when you're first starting. So for that reason, I do have a program where I can actually start helping you do this. Okay, I can actually help you do this entire process. And the best part is, out of this 10-step process, I will do probably 8 of 9 steps for you or help you do it. Okay. I will help you do everything, right? So I'll help you negotiate, figure out what you can pay. I'll help you send the contracts. I'll help you get pictures of the property, install the lock boxes. I'll help find the buyers. I'll help negotiate that, send the assignment contract. I'll handle all the title work. I'll help you do everything. We become partners on the deal and we split the profit. So if you're interested in wholesaling, but you're still kind of confused how to get started, but you want some more personal help and you want me to actually partner up with you and actually help you do this business, I can do that, okay? So all the thing you have to do is go to Apex Wholesaling. It's right down here, right at the bottom, apexwholesaling.com. And there's going to be 2 options there, guys, 2 options. These are not courses. This is not something where you get it and then you're on your own and you try to figure it out, okay? That's not it. Okay. I get all kinds of free information on my YouTube and inside my Facebook group, right? I'm not selling information. What I have is a partnership program where we can partner on deals and I can actually help you close deals and help you get paid. It's only a few dollars a month. Then I also have a one-on-one mentorship program. Okay. So if you're someone who wants to take this business to the next level, right? You have a little bit of experience and you got some money you put into marketing, and you want me to help you build $1 million business, a business that can do $100,000 a month, I offer a one-on-one mentorship to help you do that, okay? So 2 different options. One for people on a low budget just starting. I can partner with you and help you start making money quickly, and have a mentorship program where I'll actually mentor you one-on-one. You have full access to me 24/7. I'm going to help you build $1 million business, okay? 2 options for you guys. Hopefully that helps you. That's the entire 10-step process. But if you want, some help actually executing on that, I can do that for you. All right. So what I'm going to do is let me take a couple questions here, take a few questions, and then we're going to jump off here. But if you want some personal help, make sure you go to apexwholesaling.com and I can help you in this business and help you crush it. All right. All right. Let's see if we got any questions here today. Okay, what's the best to start wholesaling when you don't have any money? Okay, if you have 0 funds, the easiest way is just driving for dollars. Okay, it's free. You get on your bike, you can walk. All you're doing is you're finding distressed properties. You go to truepeoplesearch.com, you look up the address, get the owner's phone number, and you call them. It's pretty much 100% free. Okay, that's the best free way of doing it. Okay. Good. All right. What else we got? Any other questions? Not necessarily. Okay, so what happens if we can't find a buyer for the contract? So inside the contract, you should have some exit clauses, right? Meaning that you can cancel that contract. Okay, so if you can't sell it, you can't find a buyer, you send the seller a termination agreement saying that you're terminating the contract, and you can do that legally because it says so right in your contract. Okay. And also, guys, inside my program, I give you all this. I give you all my contracts. I give you my phone scripts. I give you everything. Okay. So you have my entire business model and you can just mimic it. Okay. I'm giving you a business in a box. So I give you all the contracts, scripts, spreadsheets, everything that you need in the business, I give you. Okay. Okay, next question. If I'm starting a deal and I know the property has an agent, the asking price is where I want it. Do I continue? Most likely, if the house is listed with a realtor, it's not a deal. Okay, that's the case 90% of the time. Now, it doesn't mean you can't find a deal that way, but let me put it to you simply. If it's listed with a realtor, that means other investors are looking at the property or already looked at it. And if they're not buying it and you pay more than what other investors are willing to pay, you have nobody to sell that property to. You can't be the highest bidder because if you're the highest bidder, you got no one else to sell it to. The whole idea of wholesaling is to find off-market deals at a discount and then sell those to the investors. So if you pay more than other investors, you can't sell it. So it's not a deal. What taxes do you need to pay from your contract deal at the end of the year? So wholesaling gets taxed like any other business. So it's just like regular income. So it depends on your tax bracket. Okay. So it's just like a normal income is taxed. What's the best negotiating line to tell sellers? I mean, there's not just one line. Okay. You have to go through the entire script. Okay. When you're negotiating, I have a 3-page script that I go through, and I have that in my program because it's not a script. It's like a layout of a format of going through it line by line. And what you're doing is you're digging out pain points and you're educating them and you're bringing them down. So you're really going through the entire process. So you can't just have one line that's going to make you successful. You have to have the framework of the entire conversation to pull them out and pull their pain out and really find out why they want to sell and how much money they need and all kinds of different stuff. Okay. So I can give you that entire script. If that's something you're interested in. Just go to Apex Wholesaling. What's been the most successful way to convert sellers into clients? Bandit signs, door hangers, cold calling. I specialize in PPC in my business. We do online ads. That is going to be the best way of doing it. Yes, we do multifamily too. Yep, multifamily too. Is there ever been a property that's in too bad a shape to make a deal on? Yeah, that happens, right? You're going to come across properties all over the country. And in very rural areas, houses are not worth very much. You know, say the houses in the area are only going for 50,000, which is a lot of areas in the country are like that. If it's in bad shape, it may need more than $50,000 worth of work to bring it up to standards, right? So if that's the case, the property needs more work than what it's worth. So that really has no value. So you're not going to be able to sell it. Okay. Where do you find buyers? estesdata.com. Okay. estesdata.com right here at the bottom of the screen. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Do you always require earnest money from the buyer? If so, what amount? a certain percentage. Yes, every single time, and it's non-refundable. Okay, so if they give me money, they can't get it back. It's a non-refundable deposit, and I try to get $5,000. Minimum I usually go is like 2,000. If it's like a low-price property, I'll go like a couple thousand. But the average, I've gotten 10, 15,000 before if it's like a really big deal. On average, I would say $4,000 or $5,000 is what I get. Okay, good. I got 2 more minutes. Any other final questions I can help you out with, guys? But that is the entire 10-step process, okay? So if you want help doing that, remember, only thing you have to do is go to apexwholesaling.com. I have 2 different programs. One is a partnership program. I can actually help you start closing deals. I will personally help you start closing deals, and we split the profit. And the best part is about that program, it's only a few dollars to join. Literally a couple bucks and you can be part of that program. The other one is a one-on-one mentorship program. And this is for people who want to take their business super seriously and they want to build a company that's doing $100,000 plus a month. Okay. So 2 programs, they're both hands-on. They're not courses. It's not something where you try to figure it out on your own. These are both hands-on programs. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you go to Apex Wholesaling and check that out. All right, guys, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, you need anything, you know how to reach me. Leave me a comment under the video, text me, send me a Facebook message, Instagram message, reach out to me. I'm always available. I'm here to help you guys. I'll talk to you soon.